Welcome to today's episode where we dive into the intricate world of Middle Eastern geopolitics.
Our focus is on the Houthi movement in Yemen and their strong opposition to Israel. We'll explore the origins of this hostility, examining the ideological, religious and political factors at play. Join us as we unravel the complex relationship between a Yemeni rebel group and a nation on the other side of the Arabian Peninsula. The Houthi movement, officially known as Ansar Allah, emerged in the 1990s in Yemen's northern Sada province. Named after their founder Hussein al-Houthi, they are a predominantly Zaidi Shia group in a country with a Sunni majority. Initially, the movement focused on religious and cultural revival, but it soon evolved into a formidable political and military force. The Houthis gained prominence in Yemeni politics following the 2011 Arab Spring, which led to the ousting of longtime President Ali Abdullah Saleh. They capitalized on the ensuing power vacuum, expanding their influence beyond their traditional strongholds. In 2014, they seized control of Yemen's capital, Sana'a, triggering a civil war that continues to this day. This ongoing conflict has drawn in regional powers, particularly Saudi Arabia, which leads a coalition against the Houthis, viewing them as proxies of their rival, Iran. The war has resulted in a humanitarian crisis, with millions of Yemenis facing famine and displacement. The Houthi movement's stance towards Israel is characterized by fierce opposition and hostility. Despite the geographical distance between Yemen and Israel, the Houthis have made their anti-Israel position a central part of their ideology and rhetoric. They frequently denounce Israel in public statements and media, often referring to it as the Zionist enemy or Israeli occupation. The movement's slogan, which appears on their flag and is chanted at rallies, includes the phrase, "Death to Israel." This vocal opposition extends beyond mere rhetoric, as the Houthis have launched long-range missiles towards Israeli territory, though these attempts have been largely unsuccessful due to the distance involved. The intensity of their anti-Israel stance is particularly notable given that Yemen and Israel have no shared borders or direct historical conflicts, highlighting the complex regional dynamics at play in the Middle East. The Houthis' fierce opposition to Israel is deeply rooted in both ideological and religious factors. At its core, their stance is shaped by their adherence to Shia Islam, particularly the Zaidi branch. This religious foundation significantly influences their worldview and political ideology. Shia Islam, especially in its more militant interpretations, often emphasizes resistance against perceived oppression and injustice. The Houthis view Israel as an oppressive force in the region, particularly in relation to the Palestinian people. This perception aligns with a broader narrative within certain Islamic circles that portrays Israel as an illegitimate state and a threat to Muslim lands. The movement's official slogan, "God is great, death to America, death to Israel, curse on the Jews, victory to Islam," clearly illustrates the centrality of anti-Israel sentiment to their ideology. This mantra not only expresses opposition to Israel, but also frames the conflict in religious terms, positioning it as a struggle between Islam and its perceived enemies. Furthermore, the Houthis' interpretation of Shia Islam includes a strong emphasis on supporting the oppressed. They view the Palestinian cause as a prime example of oppression in the Muslim world, which they feel obligated to oppose. This religious duty to support fellow Muslims against perceived injustice fuels their hostile stance towards Israel. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict, therefore, becomes more than a territorial dispute in the Houthi worldview. It transforms into a religious and moral imperative, a battle between right and wrong, believers and non-believers. This perspective intensifies their opposition and makes it a fundamental part of their identity and purpose. The Houthis' stance on Israel is deeply influenced by regional geopolitical factors, with Iran playing a pivotal role. As a key ally and supporter of the Houthi movement, Iran has significantly shaped their political and ideological outlook. This alliance is rooted in shared religious beliefs and strategic interests, with Iran viewing the Houthis as a valuable proxy in its regional power struggle. Iran's support for the Houthis extends beyond mere ideological alignment. It includes financial aid, military training, and the supply of weapons. This backing has emboldened the Houthis and amplified their anti-Israel rhetoric. By aligning with Iran, the Houthis have effectively positioned themselves within the broader axis of resistance against Israel and Western influence in the Middle East. The Iran-Houthi relationship has thus transformed a local Yemeni insurgency into a player in the larger regional conflict, directly impacting their stance on Israel. This geopolitical dynamic has elevated the Houthis' opposition to Israel from a distant ideological position to a more active and strategically significant stance in the complex landscape of Middle Eastern politics. The Houthis' opposition to Israel is deeply intertwined with their broader anti-Western stance. Their rhetoric often portrays Israel as an extension of Western imperialism in the Middle East. This narrative resonates with historical grievances and suspicions of foreign intervention that are common across the region. The Houthis frequently invoke slogans that denounce both the United States and Israel, framing their struggle as resistance against global powers they see as oppressors. This anti-Western sentiment is not unique to the Houthis, but echoes similar sentiments found in other parts of the Arab world. By aligning themselves against Israel and Western interests, the Houthis tap into a powerful narrative that has roots in decades of complex regional politics and conflicts. The Houthis' stance on Israel doesn't exist in isolation, but is deeply embedded in the broader narrative of the Arab-Israeli conflict. Their virulent opposition to Israel aligns them with other anti-Israel forces in the region, creating a complex web of alliances and shared ideologies. This alignment includes groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in Palestine, as well as state actors such as Iran and Syria. By adopting this position, the Houthis effectively position themselves as part of a larger resistance movement against Israel and its allies. This stance resonates with many in the Arab world who view the Palestinian cause as a unifying factor. The Houthis' rhetoric and actions against Israel serve to bolster their legitimacy among certain segments of the population, both within Yemen and across the Middle East. However, this alignment also has significant impacts on regional dynamics. It further polarizes the already divided Middle East, reinforcing the split between pro-Western, pro-Israel states like Saudi Arabia and the UAE, and those opposed to Israel's existence. This polarization complicates diplomatic efforts and peace initiatives in the region, making resolution of conflicts more challenging. Moreover, the Houthis' anti-Israel stance contributes to the ongoing proxy conflicts in the Middle East, where regional powers vie for influence through support of various non-state actors. This perpetuates a cycle of tension and conflict that extends far beyond Yemen's borders, affecting the stability and security of the entire region. The Houthis' stance on Israel isn't just a matter of distant ideological opposition. It's deeply intertwined with local Yemeni politics and global tensions. Within Yemen, this position serves to rally support and distinguish the Houthis from other political factions. It also aligns them with Iran, strengthening their regional alliances. On the global stage, the Houthis' anti-Israel rhetoric elevates their profile beyond Yemen's borders. This stance complicates international efforts to resolve the Yemeni conflict, as it adds another layer of complexity to an already volatile situation. It also impacts regional stability, potentially exacerbating tensions between Israel and other Middle Eastern nations. The Houthis' position on Israel thus becomes a focal point where local grievances, regional power struggles, and global geopolitics converge, highlighting the intricate web of relationships shaping Middle Eastern politics today. As we conclude our exploration of the Houthi movement and their stance towards Israel, it's clear that the situation is far more complex than it may initially appear. We've seen how religious ideology, regional alliances, and broader geopolitical factors all play crucial roles in shaping the Houthis' opposition to Israel. This intricate web of motivations and influences underscores the multifaceted nature of Middle Eastern politics. The Houthis' position, while rooted in local Yemeni dynamics, reverberates across the region, contributing to the ongoing tensions and conflicts that define the modern Middle East. Understanding these complexities is essential for grasping the full picture of the Arab-Israeli conflict and its far-reaching implications for global stability.